Welcome to another edition of Survival Mode, where we give entrepreneurs a step-by-step roadmap to starting their own business. I'm Bert Robinson.
I'm Kevin Beers.
I'm Michael Grant Jr.
You can reach us by email at hello@survivalmode.live or check out our website at www.survivalmode.live. Let's get to it. Welcome back to another edition of Survival Mode. We're in step number 5, and now we're going to be talking about business credentials. Business credentials. Business credentials helps and enhances your business because it shows a level of investments and seriousness, expertise, and experience. Now, why am I laughing? Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Now, I know if you're on the radio, you can't see me doing this. Okay, but during the break, we were talking about leveling up everything. So I'm holding up a level right now. So, and then when I talked about a level of investments, okay, I was having some fun. Leave me alone. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's get back to it. It shows how important it is to you. Because if it's important to you, then it's going to be, the way you talk about it, you're expressing that and conveying that to others about your investment, about your seriousness, about your expertise and why you're doing this. Okay. Talk about some of your experiences. Now, guys, I'm going to ask you individually, what are some of the experiences when we work with other people? How does that help with their credibility? Well, with their credentials, with their credentials.
Well, I'll say this. Look at it from a consumer standpoint. Consumers look at reviews nowadays, and they really see that and I do too, especially here's a tip. Use reviews when it comes to products, not a business or the business services, because one interaction doesn't dictate the entire business and or the business philosophy. It could be just one bad apple. So products, yes, reviews. But anyways, let's get back to the point here. I believe credentials really helps you to understand that the business is credible, that is competent, and that is capable to produce and or serve you as they say. I think it's really simple, but it's very powerful. It's basically the supportive document or the supportive element to ensure to ensure that the customers that the business can do what they say they can do.
Now, what's your take on it, Kevin?
Well, I was actually going to go the consumer route also. If you, let's say your business, you put on there established in 2023, and that's all you basically say about your business. But the business up the street, which does the exact same thing, says established 2023, but licensed in all these different credentials. Which one are you going to go to if you both do the same thing? You're going to go to the one that you know more about, the one that has a list of credentials. Now, I'm not saying that you should just be listing your credentials. What I'm saying is on the previous episode, we talk about building the credibility of the business. Those are the credentials we're really talking about. Those credentials are going to help us at the bank with actually anybody that we're interfacing with our consumers, with essentially everybody. So taking the steps to build the credibility, that when we talk to businesses that are trying to get established, you can't miss that step of building the credibility, because without that credibility, you have nothing really. I mean, why should a bank trust you if you can't prove you can do what you can do?
And see, Kevin, that's what I was going to get into. The business credentials add to you being trustworthy and a credible source in whatever you're offering. Now, we're going to get into something else. A couple of C's. Competent and capable. Are you competent? Are you capable? I mean, that's the question what consumers are asking. I'll give you an example. If you go to a drive-through, and you're just listening at the server, fast food, you can hear if somebody is competent or not. You can hear if they're capable or not. You can see if they're capable based on their actions or your interactions with them. Now, if they're not competent, are you going to trust them? If they're not capable, are you going to trust them? Are you going to trust the business? Are you going to trust the business owner who, teaches them, who, does the intake with them? Are you? Now, there's this guy I know that he loves going to restaurants. Okay, he loves going to restaurants. Goodness gracious. This guy will check the reviews up and down. As a matter of fact, two of the guys that I know will do the same thing. Okay, I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him. Okay, and they say, well, no, I don't even want to waste my time. See, I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but Michael and Kevin do this all the time. They go look at the reviews, how this place is. Guys, I apologize. I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but guess what? I do the same thing. So let me hush.
That's right. That's right.
Let me hush. Let me hush. When you go out of town, what do? What do you do?
But let me interject. Well, let me say this. If you want to reach more information, if you want to reach us, if you have questions, you can go to our website at www.survivalmode.live, and or you can go to our email. Email us some information, some questions, any concerns at hello@survivalmode.live. Okay, that's back to our program. Now, what I was going to say is, you have no point of reference. So reviews are a great point of reference. Credentials are a great point of reference. And I want to say this: strive as a business to identify and to acquire as many credentials as possible before opening. For instance, if you open up a restaurant, serve safe. That's one of the credentials that you can all your managers can acquire to show that you all are competent and capable in serving people in a safe environment. There are so many more. When you check out your industry associations, they'll let you know of all different types of credentials that could be potentially acquired in your business. So the key thing is just to identify those things and use it to leverage so that you can actually build that trustworthiness with your customers.
Now, Kevin, apply that to what you and I do in financial services.
Well, for us, it's mainly licensing. we have to be licensed with the insurance board. If we do securities, we're with FINRA. There's a lot of those credentials are imposed on us essentially. If we don't have those credentials, we can't work in that area because we're dealing with people's money. I mean, a lot of times it might be someone's life savings.
No doubt.
Right. So those kinds of credentials were imposed. It's imposed on us to have those credentials. Now, if someone comes to me and, there are certain things I can and can't talk about depending on my licensing. What I find interesting is if you have no credentials at all, you can talk about anything in financial services you want to talk about. You can talk about investing, you can talk about individual stocks, you can talk about insurance, it doesn't matter. But once you get a license, let's say you just get a license in insurance, you can no longer talk about stocks. You can no longer talk about investing in mutual funds and things like that. Because since you have one credential, if you talk about those other things, you're implying that you have the credentials for the rest. So that's how it works for financial services. Let me pull it over to software in my other house. In software, you might be looking for certifications in Microsoft or Cisco or those kinds of certifications to say, yes, I'm totally capable of doing these things because I have the credentials to back up saying I can do those things. The same thing in business. That's what those credentials are all about.
That is absolutely right on point. Now, let me tell you what business credentials can include. Okay, they can be incorporation and registrations. There can be what Kevin was talking about, the certificates of completion. Well, excuse me, what Michael was talking about. Do you know it can also be awards and acknowledgments by respected sources? You know, like for technicians, the ASC, okay, for financial services, the different Series 65, Series 6, Series 7, all of those different things. There are a lot of different, and you can find out what they are. You don't have, as an owner, you don't have to necessarily get the credentials, but you can have some of your team that have the credentials. You can leverage your team. Okay. I mean, why not? We talk about leveraging all the time.
And I want to add to that.
Go ahead.
And guess what? That reinforces your team being competent and capable and being a good representation of your organization. So every business owner should compel and push their team to get more and more credentials.
And
Why
that's why
not?
some of them pay. That's why some of them pay for it.
Absolutely. It just reinforces the brand. And you're making sure that they really can do their job.
And you're keeping them on the job. You're keeping them on the job. If you're paying for their education to, you know, hey, that's your check that out. That's your credibility. That's your credentials that you have somebody of that caliber on your team. Works out. Works out. I like it. I like it. Now, how important, real quick, 30 seconds, Kevin, how important is trust when you go to a business?
If I don't trust them, I'm not doing business with them. So I'd say it's utmost importance.
Michael?
Ditto. It's that simple.
But it's hard to establish. It's hard to establish. But if you have integrity, work hard at it, you can do it. We'll be right back in just a few minutes with more of step number 5. And we're going to be talking about what business connections. Now, you can reach us at hello@survivalmode.live, or our website is www.survivalmode.live. We'll be right back.